COVID-19 has made us aware that we have a really efficient food system, really efficient supply chains, but in fact, very brittle ones. Once they break, they're very hard to reestablish.
I think the biggest challenge to our food systems that COVID has exposed is really little to no contingency plan for these types of global crises. There's been a shortage of supply for a lot of consumers, but there's been an abundance of supply with producers to the point that food needed to be wasted, animals needed to be culled. And this is really just a function of the logistics of our global food systems operating on a razor's edge.
What that did then, in a lot of ways, is that it raised a lot of anxiety and a lot of pressure on governments to find ways of producing and meeting their own food self-sufficiency without over-relying on the imports, which is again threatening now the expansion of our agriculture system. Because let me say this, our agriculture system, given that it's in the hands of smallholder farmers, it means that when you want to increase production or productivity, a lot of it would entail opening up of new land, which is again threatening the biodiversity that is already overstrained even before we talk about COVID.
There's several things we can do to make the food chains more resilient. We could take all the money that's going into subsidies now and begin to use it to support regenerative ag. One of the new places where we're in a position to do something very different and create a new kind of food system is to bring carbon and carbon accounting into the food system. And by that, I mean governments need to start looking at ways they can support food producers, whether it's through reducing or avoiding carbon emissions.
I think if the pandemic has taught us anything, it's that we have to do better at development. We have to do better at helping countries develop markets that get them more money and more value